They don't feel connected to us.
You mentioned trust, so let me talk about CNN and Donna Brazile. This week, CNN announced longtime commentator Donna Brazile had resigned in mid-October. This was after the WikiLeaks dump of stolen emails showed that she had sent one of the questions she received from TV One's Roland Martin over to the Clinton campaign. This was for a joint CNN TV One town hall. Now, that was bad enough, but then this week, one of the new WikiLeaks email dumps showed that during the Flint, Michigan debate here on CNN in March, that Donna Brazile also heard about a question and then sent it to the Clinton campaign. Now, Donald Trump, of course, has said a lot about this. He said it's unfair both from Brazile's point of view and that Clinton might have known the questions in advance. Now, to be honest, the Flint question was basically Donna Brazile just saying they're going to ask about the water and what you're going to do in Flint. Right. It was a pretty obvious question.
So why send it? Why send it if it's such an obvious question?
This brings up loyalty and conflict of interest. First, let me show what CNN said this week about the matter once they announced Brazile had already resigned. The statement from CNN read in part, "We are completely uncomfortable with what we have learned about her interactions with the Clinton campaign while she was a CNN contributor." Now, the best sense we have, talking to executives at CNN, is that this question in Flint came from a community member, not from a CNN staffer. There's no indication that the so-called cone of silence where debate prep happens was ever breached. But I wonder, Michael, if this brings up a serious issue about the CNN and other cable news commentators who have dual loyalties, who in this case, Donna Brazile, working for the DNC while also working for CNN.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to give any other news organization advice. I have enough trouble figuring out how we should do things. But it's really important to do a couple of things. One is obviously total transparency. I mean, it's not actually a big mystery that Donna Brazile is a loyal and firm supporter of the Democratic Party and of Hillary Clinton.
But she embarrassed all of CNN. By talking to the campaign this way.
The system creates that kind of a problem because the surrogates for the Republicans are always in communication with various other Republicans, the surrogates for the Democrats. But I think one of the places where the cable networks get in trouble is they mix up people who are in that kind of a role with people like us. And to be honest, I feel good, at least that on this panel, I'm pretty confident that I know that everybody on this panel is coming here as a journalist, perhaps as a representative of an organization, but not representing anything outside of our sphere. Right. When you see a lot of panels, both on Fox and CNN, there's a mix of people. Some of them are paid surrogates for parties, some of them are journalists, some of them are journalists.
But don't you need the journalists there to correct the surrogates?
But the moderator can sit there and correct the surrogates, but this mixing is one of the dangerous aspects of it. I totally agree with Michael on that.
But she was not. She was not a surrogate. CNN hired her. She was a partisan with a paycheck from CNN. I think that's a totally different situation when somebody has under their name CNN contributor or Fox contributor or MSNBC. Newspapers have dealt with this for a long time on the editorial page. Television doesn't have that.
So television maybe has still to figure it out a little bit more than we figured it out so far.
You got to get the category straight.
Let's look at another example, actually. Corey Lewandowski, CNN commentator, highly controversial. Some viewers do not believe he should be paid by CNN. Others, believe he's an important addition. Kellyanne Conway tweeted this picture of standing with Corey this week. The hashtag teamwork. Of course, this caught a lot of attention. Another example of a CNN commentator obviously communicating with, talking with campaign staffers. It's not surprising, though, that he would be communicating with Trump staffers, is it, Lynn?
It's not surprising, but I think the cables have to do a better job of not looking like they're buying inside information. Which is what you kind of do when you pay somebody to commentate and to be on your team when you really know that they are still connected to the other team.
In Corey Lewandowski's case, CNN hired somebody who supposedly inside information, not as long as he's got that non-disclosure agreement going from the Trump operation, and it should be pointed out, was still getting paid by the Trump operation.
This is on the networks. You cannot expect Corey Lewandowski not to be Corey Lewandowski.
This is on the networks, but Corey Lewandowski makes the broadcasts better, right? Because you learn the Trump point of view from Corey Lewandowski. The argument for paying him would be that you get him exclusively.
With Corey Lewandowski and Donna Brazile, and you could moderate it and have them on television. You'll know what they're representing, but don't say that they're CNN employees. Say they're representing.
But now that you raised the subject, I think I'm on these panels, and it's with people who say that they're always, what's the vague term? They're a Democratic advisor, Republican advisor. You don't know their clients.
Right, Republican
it's never announced.
Everybody's a Republican and Democratic strategist. You've never heard of them.
Who often have consulting firms, and you don't know, without asking them, to disclose a list. I don't think any. I've never been on a show when you say, by the way, Democratic advisor, who are your clients this cycle?
You know, that makes me think about Karl Rove at Fox as well, who's raising millions of dollars. Paul Begala at CNN, who works with the Clinton super PAC. A lot of examples of this.
Right.
Maybe the bottom line is that after this election, it's time for a reevaluation of some of these relationships.
I think that's a good idea because you want expertise. But you have to figure out a way that if these are people who are also players, to either define the role more. Everyone knew. I think Brazile was a official at the DNC even before she was the interim chairman.
Right.
Maybe you just have to figure out a way to define the role more, to say we have people here in a dual role. Rove is a player and a participant as well as our analyst.
Participant. That's a great word for it.
None of us is saying that Corey Lewandowski should not be on CNN. Just label him correctly. Maybe don't pay him. He'll come on anyway to advocate for Donald Trump. So maybe it's an issue of pay. Maybe it's an issue of labeling. But we certainly need to hear from him, and we need to hear from Donna Brazile.
Karen?
And well, also there was an issue within the Democratic Party in that Donna Brazile was passing herself off as sort of a Democratic Party official, but a neutral among these campaigns. What the emails showed was that for all her declared public neutrality here on CNN, she was actually working with one side versus the other in the Clinton-Sanders primary.
One good rule of news management is that whenever you write a check for anything, be sure you know what you're paying for and you can explain it.
All of you, I appreciate the conversation. We need to have it.